friends. A brand new unit. No more ocean animals. We're going to learn about land animals. We're going to take all the things we learn about ocean animals and apply them to land animals. We're going to see whether they're mammals, but we're also going to talk about reptiles, snakes, amphibians, animals that live on both land and water. We're going to have so much fun. I got so much to tell you. I'm so geeked. I got to calm down because we got to start at the beginning. We're going to refresh our memories on what mammals are. Now, mammals are creatures that have lungs. We have lungs, right? That's how we breathe, how we take in oxygen. We have hair. Animals who are mammals have hair or fur. They produce milk for their young. The mom gives them milk, nurses them. They have live birth, except for the duck-billed platypus and the echidna. They're mammals, but they lay eggs into their pouch, which is kind of crazy. We're going to talk about that when we talk about special characteristics. And mammals they can live in all environments, and mammals have constant body temperature. That means, unlike a reptile who has to sun itself to get warm, our body temperature stays the same, whether it's cold outside, whether it's warm outside. So we're going to talk about mammals. Let's look at some mammals here. We have a hippopotamus, a rhinoceros, a giraffe, elephant, my favorite lion, I love lions, and a zebra. All of those are mammals, and they all look totally different, right? So sit back and relax. There is a fun activity today to do in the remote learning link. It's making Play-Doh animals. If you don't have Play-Doh, you can draw. And we're going to read this really groovy book. It's called Wild Babies. It talks about different types of mammals by Seymour Simon. It's a really great book, and you're going to learn so many interesting facts about different types of mammals. So sit back and relax. Look at some of the great videos in the remote learning plan. Do some of the activities, and there's a couple songs in there. Also, there's books on the Scholastic Bookflix account, and for those of you who signed up to Epic through either me or Miss Mary, there are wonderful books on animals on those accounts as well. So sit back and relax and listen to Wild Babies. Hi friends, today's book is Wild Babies by Seymour Simon. Seymour wrote the words and he took the pictures. So he's the author and the photographer. So let's count the letters in the title Wild Babies. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's wild. There's 4 letters in the word wild. Let's do babies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 letters in the word babies. On the front of the book is a koala. And koalas habitat is Australia. So let's read about the great mammals in Wild Babies. We have a title page. Oh, look. We have polar bears. Aren't they great? They're mammals, but they're not native to Australia. Let's read the introduction that Simon says. Oh, let's look at the great picture. First of all, okay, now let's read the introduction. Baby animals come in many sizes and shapes and colors. You may have seen litters of kittens or puppies, but how about a lynx, a kitten, or a baby koala? There are more than 1 million kinds of animals in the world, and in this book we'll talk about some of the wild baby animals you might not have seen. Most wild babies can move around right after they are born, and some are already able to care for themselves. But many animal mothers, such as elephants, polar bears, and giraffes, stay with their young to protect them and feed them. Other members, such as frogs and alligators, have little or no contact with their babies. Fathers don't often play a role in raising their babies, but look on the emperor penguin for one notable exception. In this book, you'll learn where and how a variety of wild babies are born and how they live. Some are fuzzy, some are adorable, others are slippery, some are scary, but all are fascinating. So let's look at this. Okay. Koala. A koala looks very much like a toy teddy bear, but is not a bear, and it isn't even related to bears. The koala is a marsupial, or pouched animal, that lives in Australia. When a baby koala is born, it is only about as big as your little finger. Right after birth, the baby crawls into its mother's pouch. There, there, the single baby nurses and grows for 6 months. At that point, it has all its fur and emerges from the pouch and begins to ride on its mother's back. Koalas live among the high branches of the eucalyptus trees. Eucalyptus trees are poisonous to people and most other animals, but koalas eat them without harm. An adult koala is about as big as a 1 year old human, and the mother will continue to carry her baby until it is nearly as big as she is. A father koala shows no interest in the baby and even seems annoyed if the baby climbs on his back. After 4 years, the young koala is full grown and moves off on its own. Isn't it fascinating that it lives inside the mother's pouch for 6 months? Okay. A kangaroo. I'm going to have to move it over so I can read it. Like koalas, kangaroos live in Australia and carry their young in pouches, usually just one baby per pouch. There are several different kinds of kangaroos. The great kangaroos can grow about as big as a person and weigh as much as 200 pounds. But there are also little kangaroos called wallabies, and they are just as small as rabbits. And some kangaroos are even smaller, no bigger than rats. Ew, why do I have to say rats? A baby kangaroo is called a joey. The red kangaroo's joey shown here was only about as big as a bean at birth. Like a koala baby, a joey crawls into its mother's pouch, where it nurses and grows for the first 6 months of its life. When it gets older, a joey sticks his head out of the pouch to see what's happening in the outside world. The joey goes on a speedy ride as his mother can hop along faster than a person can run. Kangaroos often travel in groups or herds. A herd has no fixed home and may range over miles of Australian outback. At night, they just lie down and sleep on the ground. The herds are much smaller and usually just a few dozen. At less than a year old, the joey is grazing on plants and alongside its mother and other kangaroos. Still, the joey will continue to catch rides in its mom's pouch until it's about 15 months old. I guess you can look at a pouch as kind of like a stroller, right? Wow, that's a big kangaroo. These are all mammals, friends. This is a possum. Ooh. Can I tell you a possum story? Then I'll read about possums. One time when I was at college and I was coming home from the library, there was this great big. At that time I didn't know what it was. It was a possum, and I was like, Shazam! What is that? And my friend who was from New York came up and said, "That's a rat." And then my friend from LA said, "That's a giant rat." And I'm like, well. And so this girl who was from Kansas, who lived on the farm, said, "You guys, that's a possum." We're like, oh, we're from the city. That's my possum story, friends. The Virginia possum shown here also carries its young in a pouch, like the kangaroo and the koala. Let me move it over so you can see the picture better. How about that? Okay. Possums are the only marsupials in the United States and are annually the only marsupials in the world outside of Australia, Tasmania, and New Guinea. Unlike the koala or the kangaroo, a mother possum gives birth to as many as 50 babies at one time. Each is tiny as your thumb. Most of the babies don't live very long, though. As soon as the baby is born, it pulls itself along the mother's fur into her pouch. The first babies attach themselves to the teats and remain fastened there for about 10 weeks. But the mother possum has only 13 teats, so latecomers find all the feeding stations taken and do not survive. No, that's so sad. The feeding babies grow rapidly. In only about a week, they are already 10 times as big as they were when they were born. When the babies grow too large to fit into the mother's pouch, they hitch a ride on her back. They hang onto the mother's fur while she looks for food, such as insects, plants, and dead animals. During this time, they are with the mother. Let me read that over again. During this time, they are with their mother. Young possums learn the distinctive tricks of playing possum. They learn to roll into a tight ball and act dead when danger approaches. So that's when it's called playing possum. After only 3 or 4 months, the babies are big enough to make their own way in the world. Can you imagine if you were a baby and after 3 or 4 months your mom said, "Baby, see you later, you can make your way in the world"? Now, this is a mammal, but it's not in like a warm climate. It's in a very cold climate. These are polar bears. Okay? Polar bears live in the Arctic, along the edges of the cold ocean waters. The bears are good swimmers and hunters. They catch and eat fish, seals, and walruses. So they're carnivores, friends. They eat only meat. During the middle of the winter, while a polar bear mother is hibernating, she gives birth to 1 to 3 cubs in a den, dug out of snow and ice. The cubs are born hairless and blind, but the body heat of the mother keeps the den 40 degrees Fahrenheit, warmer than the outside temperature. Cubs weigh only about 2 pounds at birth, but grow rapidly as they nurse on their mother's butter-rich milk. As the weeks pass, they open their eyes, soft fur covers their bodies. Polar bears have a special kind of fur that traps heat and keeps them warm. By the spring, when their long winter sleep ends, the cubs weigh about 25 pounds. Now the babies get their first look at the outside world. They slide into the snow and fight with each other. There is plenty of time for play as cubs grow because they will follow along with their mother for the next 2 years, slowly learning how to hunt for food and for themselves. Now that's a little better. 2 years, not 3 or 4 months, right? This is another cold mammal. The emperor penguin. Let me show you. Get a picture, right? The female emperor penguin lays a single egg on the shores of the cold Antarctic Ocean, half a world away from the polar bear, but in much the same kind of icy surroundings. She lays her egg in a place called a rookery, where hundreds of thousands of other mother penguins are laying their eggs. In the wild, being a part of a large group can be very helpful. A group of penguins has thousands of eyes that keep a sharp watch on nearby waters where leopard seals and killer whales prowl. Also, after she lays her eggs, the mother waddles down to the sea and swims away to find food, small fish and krill, and a kind of tiny shrimp. She doesn't come back for 2 months. Can you believe the mom is gone for 2 months? The male penguin takes care of the eggs, balancing on top of his wide feet and pulling down a feathery pouch from his belly to keep it warm. When the penguin chick hatches, it is covered by downy feathers that protect it from the cold. Now the mother penguin returns, and the father can finally go to the sea and look for food. He's lost a lot of weight after not eating for 2 months. Wow. For 7 months, the penguin chicks are kept in a huge kindergarten where a few adults can care for many young at one time. The growing chicks spend 4 years learning how to swim and fish together in underwater schools. A penguin chick quickly learns how to work and play well with others. That's a great idea, right? The mom and dad say, "I gotta go to work, dudes. I'm gonna take you to kindergarten." How interesting. Grassland animal. This is one of the animals we're going to talk about their habitat. Okay, I'm going to read. I got to move it over here so I can read it. Giraffes. A newborn giraffe seems to be all legs and neck. It is tall as a person and weighs about 150 pounds. Can you beat that? When they're okay, for the first few days, the mother licks and noses her calf. She is cleaning and learning a particular odor. The smell of her calf will help her locate it in the midst of a herd, because giraffes are herd animals, so it's like a lot of them. And so the mother, like they said, they lick it and they get to know the odor of their calf. So when they see like hundreds of calves, they're like, oh, there's mine. There's Bobby. Bobby, come home. Okay, when they are 1 to 2 weeks old, the giraffe calves join calf groups called kindergartens. A dozen calves may be watched by 2 to 3 babysitting females. The tall giraffe adults can see dangerous lions, leopards, and other wild dogs a long way off. The mothers range far afield to find the greatest quantity of tree leaves they need to eat. Wow. Giraffes are the tallest living animals in the world. Adults can reach about almost 20 feet, nearly twice as high as a basketball hoop, and weigh more than 2,000 pounds. Can you believe that? I thought I was going to get through without sticky pages. I thought it, but it's not going to happen. These are baboons, friends. Another mammal. Have we noticed most of the mammals have fur? Most of the mammals nurse their young, right? So far, most of the mammals give live birth. I know most of them have lungs. They live on land. We know about the sea mammals, right? Have you noticed there's a common theme? Let's look about baboons. Baboons are big African monkeys that travel together in groups or troops of 100 or more. Baboons live mostly on the ground rather than in the trees, as most other monkeys do. A baboon baby needs to hold on tightly to its mother so it won't fall as the troop moves across rocky cliffs and other terrain. As baby, sorry friend, I got tongue tied. Let me start over. A baby is usually cared for by its mother and two or three special friends. These are often young males who sit about making friendly faces and funny noises as the baby and what is wrong with me today? Let me start that whole paragraph over. A baby is usually cared for by its mother and 2 or 3 special friends. These are often young males who set about making friendly faces and funny noises as the baby and often spends time on grooming. Boy, that took a lot. I don't know why I couldn't get that out. Baboon babies are safe as long as they stay with the troop. If a leopard or lion tries to hunt a young baboon, the male baboons will tear the attacker to shreds with their teeth. Well, that's kind of graphic. I shouldn't have read that, but that's what happens. These are lynx. The Canadian lynx live in the forests of Canada as far south as Oregon and Colorado. A litter of about 4 lynx kittens are born to a female. Okay? So then lynx are domestic kittens. They are blind at birth. Okay, and won't open their eyes for about 10 days. Okay? Then the kids are old enough to travel with their mother when she goes hunting for snowshoe rabbits, small birds, and rodents. Okay? These are lynx. And those are possums. And that's the end of the story. I hope you like Wild Babies. That was a lot of information. I tried to skip some things so the book wouldn't be as long. Today's remote learning activity is a Play-Doh animal. Now, it says make a tiger, but you can make any animal you want. So, we're going to try it. Stick around, and I want you to try it in the links. Hi, friends. Today's activity is to make a Play-Doh animal. Now, it says make a Play-Doh tiger, but, tiger's not my cup of tea. I'm going to make a giraffe. So first of all, I got a picture of a giraffe, so I kind of know what to do. And I started my giraffe. This is my giraffe. His name is Jeffrey. But what is Jeffrey missing? Jeffrey's missing spots, right? So I'm going to get some brown Play-Doh. I'm going to try to hold it up so I can see. Get some brown Play-Doh and put spots on Jeff. And that's my Play-Doh animal. Now, you might say, I don't have Play-Doh at home. But that's okay. There's a recipe in the remote learning plan how to make your own Play-Doh. You can make it with cornstarch and flour and food coloring. Now, and then once you make it, keep it in a Ziploc bag and keep it refrigerated. Because if you don't, it will turn into a hard as rock. I mean, literally a rock. So I hope you have fun making your Play-Doh animals. Jeff is having a little issue with his legs. I don't have to work on that. I guess I better go and help Jeff. Have a great day. See ya.